All right, 9-7. You do have a review problem in your packet, but it's not on here, so we are just going to skip it. So you can put a big old X through that review problem with that pentagon there. Okay, so let's just get into the new section, the last section of 9. First off, we're just going to use a calculator to find the value of these. So I'm just going to do the first one and then write out the answers because you know how to do this. So tangent of 150, you just hit the tangent button, you hit 150, and you hit enter. And it says round to 4 places, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So that 3 there is going to round up because of the 5. All right? So that's going to be negative 0.5. Wow, 0.5774. And you're going to do the same thing for sine of 120. And these are approximations, so we use that little squiggle line. This one, 0.8660. I don't think I have to spend time showing you on the calculator. Just hit the sine button, 120, enter. And this one ends up being 0.0872. If you want to hit pause and do those quickly, just confirm that. I think you know how to do that real quickly. All right, new concept. Area of a triangle. Now, you're used to saying, well, area of a triangle is base times height. That's easy, divide by 2. Well, what if we don't have that information? Okay, so the area of a triangle is given by 1/2 the product of the lengths of the two sides, so there's that half again, times the sine of their included angle. So remember, included angle, let's look at this first one, all right? A, angle A, right there. That is formed by B and C, all right? Angle B, that is formed by A and C. And then angle C is formed by B and A. Okay, so that's where they get that, that's what they're talking about, the sides that form the angle, the included angle. Okay, so it's a pretty straightforward formula. You're not going to have to memorize it. You just got to do it. Okay, so let's do it with this one. It's pretty straightforward. So once again, since we're dealing with A, remember we're going to be using sides B and C. So we're going to use area equals 1/2 sides B and C times the sine of A. And we just fill the numbers in. So area is 1/2. B is going to be down here, opposite B, so 17. Doesn't really matter because it's just being multiplied, but you should recognize, you know, C is 19. It's opposite from that. You know, this is side C, this is side B, this is side A. It's opposite from the angles. And then sine of A, sine of 135. Okay? And then you just type that in your calculator. Okay? So you can go in any order you want. 1/2, you can just put that as 0.5 times 17 times 19 times, and then you just type in sine 135. The parentheses doesn't matter if you put it at the end. I mean, just habit. But if you put it at the beginning, like this way, if you went opposite, 135, you have to close the parentheses. Because if you don't, all those other numbers you do times 19 times 17 would be the sign of that huge multiplication number, which doesn't even make sense. So you can go in this order also. It doesn't really matter, but you have to close the parentheses if you do the sign first. And it says round to nearest tenth. That's right here. The 9 is going to make it round up to 2. So the answer is 114.2 units squared. Okay? Pretty simple formula. Just got to kind of go with it. All right. Law of sines. Law of sines can be written in either of the following forms, with the signs on top or the bottom. Doesn't matter. I just always use this one, but it does not matter. All right. Remember also, you have to note that, you know, C opposite C, A opposite A, B opposite B, capital letters for angles, lowercase for sides. And it's just a proportion. We're never going to do 3 of them. It's just going to be 2 of them. But you just use what you got and find the missing one. Okay? So what do I have? I have A. That's going to be my benchmark. So sine of 115 over 20 equals, okay. Now, I can do either one, but right now, I kind of have to do B because that's one I have a number on, okay? So I have the 11 for B. I just don't know the angle, all right? So I'm going to cross multiply and divide, all right? So sine of B is going to be equal to 11 times sine of 115 divided by 20. And remember, if we're trying to find an angle, we must use inverse sine, second sine. So I'm going to type it in just that way. Second sine, because I'm trying to find an angle B, and then I just type in. It doesn't matter the order, remember. So I'm going to do sine 115 times 11. 11 times sine 115. Doesn't matter which one I do first, but close parentheses. Because I'm going to divide by 20. And it says round nearest tenth. So this 9 tells the 8 to round up. So it's 29.9. So angle B is 29.9. So there's not a lot of room. So remember, we write outside sometimes. Just put an arrow. 29.9. Now, if we add 115 and 29.9 and subtract from 180, we find out that angle C is 35.1. And now that we have an angle there, we can find side C. So I'm going to start off, I could use B now if I wanted to. Now I have B, I could put in 29.9. I'm just going to go with my original one. Sine of 115 over 20 equals sine of 35.1 over C. And again, if I wanted to, I could have done here, I'm going to erase this, sine of 29.9 over 11. I could have used that one. I'm just using the same one I started with. It doesn't matter. You'll get the same answer every time. So here I'm finding a C. So there's not going to be any inverse sine, no second sine, all right? C is equal to, remember, cross multiply and divide, 20 times the sine of 35.1 divided by the sine of 115. So I take my handy dandy calculator and I just type that out. Sine of 35.1, close parentheses, times 20 divided by sine of 115. And I get, again, sorry about that. If I round to the nearest tenth, the 8 tells the 6 to round up. So C is 12.7. It looks really intimidating. It looks scary, but it's really quite simple. You just got to take it step by step. And the formulas will be on the quiz, so you don't have to have them memorized. All right, example 4. Okay, what do we have? We have B and B, right? So, sine of 25 over 15. Since I have angle C here, I'm going to find little c. So, sine of 107 over little c. Same idea. Cross multiply. 15 times sine of 107 divided by sine of 25. If you think you got this, you can kind of skip this part and fast forward a little bit, but I'm just going to type it out again. So sine of 107 close parentheses, I almost didn't do it, times 15 divided by sine of 25. Again, closing parentheses there doesn't matter. And then round nearest tenth, the 4 tells the 9 to stay the same, so it's 33.9. So side C is 33.9. Now, using the same concept before, if I have 107 and 25 for two of my angles, if I add them up and subtract from 180, I get 48. All right? Once again, I can use 107 and 33.9, or I can use 25 and 15. It doesn't matter. I just like to always go with my same one I started with from the beginning. That's my preference. Doesn't matter. So, sine of 48 over little a. And it's the same math. A equals sine of 48 times 15 all over sine of 25. And you just type it out again. Sine 48, close those parentheses, times 15 divided by sine of 25. The 7 tells the 3 to round up, so little a is 26.4. If I'm going too fast, always hit pause. If you need to go back, go ahead. All right, first off, since I see these two angles right here, okay, I'm going to immediately solve for the third angle, and that's going to be 49. 60 plus 71, add them together, subtract from 180, you get 49. So I just want that to have it. Now, what is it asking me for? It says, surveyor makes the measurements shown to determine the length of a bridge to be built across a small lake from the north to the south. That's this one right here, AB. So basically they're asking us to find AB, also known as side C. Well, that's going to be these two. So sine of 60 over unknown. We can't use A because we don't know how long A is, so we're going to use 49 and 150. So sine of 49 over 150 equals. And now it's just the same as what we've done. C equals, those two multiplied, 150 times sine of 60 divided by sine of 49. I think you got the gist of it, so I'm just going to go ahead and write down the answer. You know how to enter in the calculator. It's 172.1 feet. No, sorry, meters. My bad, meters. Now, real quick bonus. Bonus time. If I wanted to find A, it's the same setup. I'm going to use the same one I started with over 150. I know the angle that goes with A is sine 71 over A, and it's going to be the same setup. A is equal to, these two multiplied, 150 times sine of 71 divided by sine of 49. And just for the heck of it, bonus material, A ends up being 187.9. And that's it for day one.